It's been 76 days. It's been 3 Test matches, 2 ODIs, and 4 T20s. It's been 33 episodes of the shiny side since Pakistan last won a cricket match. Welcome to the show for the day. I'm your host, Faris, and we have with us, shaking his head in Dubai, Umair Qazi. How are you doing, Umair?
I'm okay. How are you?
Not too bad.
After just hearing that, I think डूब के मर जाना चाहिए भाई. टीम को हमें नहीं.
And it's like different formats, different tournaments, different countries, like all over the place. But something. But do you want to just kick things off with a 30-second summary of the day?
Yeah, look, finally we got to bat first, and started off well. Babar was looking in sublime touch, but unfortunately got out early, and I think that's why we could not score 180, 190, what we should have. We ended at a below par total, I feel, and it was an easy chase for New Zealand. We got 3 quick wickets. It could have been a collapse, but Phillips and Mitchell just took it away.
Yeah. And I guess starting off with the toss, right? So New Zealand won the toss. They opted to chase, which I guess I think they were trying something different. In their case, Shaheen had said he would have also batted, by the way. Sahabzada Farhan came in for Azam Khan. So I was a bit surprised at that change, not because Azam Khan went out, but I thought since Sahabzada is an opener, we already have way too many openers, and it's not likely for him to get a game in the World Cup because we just have a long line. So I would have preferred trying Hasibullah, who was more of perhaps a middle order kind of hitter. He's also backup wicketkeeper potentially. Were you surprised at that change?
Absolutely. First, I did not want them to drop Azam Khan because, look, if Azam Khan is that impact player in the middle order, he needs to be given more chances. If he's the kind of player who will win you 1 in 5 games, give him those 5 games and see if he does that.
Yeah.
He should have had the whole series, I feel. Dropping him after 3 matches is not right. Maybe he's not cut out for it, but you would not know in just 3 innings, But then he's come out to bat in every single of the first 3 T20s in a situation where he could have closed the match, but he failed. Fine, but try him out. And then Pakistan ने यही सोचा कि यार 4 ओपनर तो कम है, 5 खिला लेते हैं. I mean that also made no sense. Hasibullah बैठा हुआ है और भी पता नहीं कौन है, but
So yeah, I think on the New Zealand side they seem to be struggling with COVID. So now Conway went out with COVID. I think one of the bowling coaches also has COVID, and Will Young came in. They also left out Saudi, and they went with 4 quicks, which have probably worked against us. And you would think they should have done that all along. But it was probably a better balance for their bowling against our batting.
Yeah, probably. I think Pakistan's been playing 4 quicks in each of the T20s. And maybe because of that, because New Zealand weren't, Pakistan managed to score 180, 190. Had they played 4 quicks, maybe Pakistan would not have gotten those scores.
So I guess moving on to something that a lot of people are talking about now is Saim started promisingly in the first game, and now he's got 39 runs across 4 games at a strike rate of 130, which is well below Babar and Rizwan, and I think Billy Fakhr. Do you think he should be persisted with? Or do you think he's a worry, or do you think it's just a matter of time, and with the way he plays, it's a matter of time before he comes good?
Saim will never be the kind of batsman who will get you 50, 60, 70 odds in every single game. He will fire. So he's had, I think, 12 T20 international innings. He has 149. He has 130, and he has single-digit scores. That's the kind of batsman he will be forever. I mean, I don't see him being, what people are talking about. Pakistan will never have another Babar Azam and Mohammad Rizwan. Never. Whether they persist with Saim or not, Babar and Rizwan should have never been broken as an opening pair. They should be opening for as long as they're playing. But I don't know what happens in Pakistan cricket. I don't know. Babar and Rizwan were the problem. They're not the problem. They are the problem. They're not the problem. I don't know what Pakistan wants.
I mean, they're not opening, but they're the only ones who kind of holding the team together in this tournament, right?
Yeah, Babar number 1 पे batting करे, number 8 पे batting करे, वो score करेगा. ठीक है, that's the kind of batsman he is. And हमारी कौम को कदर नहीं है ऐसे बैट्समैन की, ना ऐसे टैलेंट की, गालियां देते रहते हैं बस.
I want to talk about Babar specifically, since you mentioned him, right? Because I think the one change I feel like he's also made to his game. So, typically the criticism of anchors is they start slow. Once they played 40, 50 balls, they have a decent strike rate anyway. But if you notice, even Babar's strike rate first up, like his first 5, his first 10 balls, is actually very good. So he's always hit a boundary or two in the first 5 balls, he's already scoring at close to 170, 200 after 5 or 10 balls. So I think he's also starting very well in this tournament, which is, I think, is a definite improvement. Like, not that like, obviously he was the strongest player anyway, but I think he's further improving on that.
Yeah, I don't agree with that because I feel Babar was always like that. He would come out, he would hit his first or second ball for 4. He would have 10 runs of 6 balls in so many innings. It was only the last 1 year where we went through a bad patch. Babar has a 130 strike rate across 110 T20 international innings.
Yeah.
When Babar and Rizwan were opening, I don't know how slow their strike rate was because every 6 overs, power play score would be between 45 and 50 for no loss or for 1.
Yeah.
I mean, even with the hard hitters Pakistan has, that's what they're getting to. So what's the point? I mean, and that is the average power play score for all the countries. I mean, I don't know what issue we had. It's just media hype and
looking at Rizwan's innings. So I didn't catch the early part. I saw the end. It was odd because he scored 90 of 60, but he looked like he was struggling to get the ball off the square, even though he finished at a fairly decent strike rate, I would say. And especially in the power play, I think he was finding it hard to kind of time the ball.
No,
sorry, in the death, I mean, not power play.
Yeah, in the power play, he was hitting the boundaries, hitting sixes as well. In the death, he found it really hard to get the ball going, but then everyone was losing wickets around him as well. But look, scoring 90 of 10 overs, I mean, you can't ask for more. I mean, he did all right.
Because also in this kind of track, right, if you score 180, it's probably a winning score. This is not like the earlier grounds you played at, right? So it's probably a decent strike rate. But again, everybody else around him was scoring a rest and run a ball. We spoke about Azam Khan already. I think the one person no one's talking about, but who's probably had the poorest series in memory is Ifti, right? Because he's scored also 39 runs at a strike rate of 90, by the way, across 4 innings, which is very unlike him.
Look, again, very unfair criticism because Iftikhar has done enough. I mean, he's been performing for a while now. He's been scoring, even in ODIs, even in T20s. He's having a bad series. He's human. I mean, it's fine. I mean, लोग पता नहीं क्या चाहते हैं. Robots नहीं है कि हर match में मारे जाएंगे.
But I guess that's what's happened, right? So if you have guys like, again, if you have someone like Babar and Rizwan are scoring, but nobody else is really scoring around them, unfortunately, and all of these guys are not scoring at the same time. So
this was your problem 4 years ago. This is your problem today as well. This will remain your problem forever. Pakistan में कोई batsman नहीं है किसी भी level के. ये सारे जो डोमेस्टिक में परफॉर्म करते हैं, whether it's शान मसूद और साइम अयूब और नाज़िम खान, इंटरनेशनल में आके इनका सारा एक्सपोजर हो जाता है कि कितने पानी में है. And I don't see any of them becoming world class at any level anytime soon. I mean,
I guess the thought also
even
is
technically they're not perfectly sound, right?
I guess the thought also is that the next World Cup is in the West Indies, and that's where people like Saim and even Azam Khan to some extent have had some good numbers. Again, what the quality of the bowling in the CPL is a question mark. So when they play against international bowlers, it's a very different situation.
Not only the quality of bowling, but even the level of pressure that you have when you're playing in these leagues. वो pressure ही नहीं होता यार. आप इधर पाकिस्तान को represent कर रहे हो, उसका pressure ही अलग है. And जब तक ये ज़्यादा खेलेंगे नहीं, ज़्यादा टीम के साथ exposure नहीं होगा, I don't think they will. Because आपकी game, physical game तो बन चुकी है. It's all about mental strength now, right?
You could get 3 ducks in the CPL and your Twitter will barely blow up, right? But you get a 10 of 12 here and your Twitter is blowing up. So it's very different pressure that way. I guess we have to talk about how fluent Nawaz is looking with the bat, by the way. So while his bowling we'll come to later, but with the bat, this is the same ground where he got the man of the match in the final of the Tri-Series 18 months ago, but he looked really good. And again, had it not been for him, we would have maybe finished at a very, very below par score compared to where we ended up.
Yeah. I mean, but देखो यार 2 innings खेली है उसने. I mean, he's been playing for again past half decade now, and ठीक है उसने एक आध मैच जिताए हैं बैट से. एक इंडिया वाला T20 था, he got a 42 of 20 balls, came up the order. एक आध और मैचेस से क्लोज किए हैं. So he's all right. He's decent. He's not your frontline spinner. He's a decent all-rounder. But he can't be your only spinner.
No, not at all. I said this about Amir Jamal, right? But Nawaz is even truer. Like, he's a very good batsman. If he was a bowling all-rounder, he'd be a very good batsman for that. But his bowling is not looking like it's good enough for a 4-over banker, right? That's the thing. And we refuse to bowl Ifti also. So, coming to our bowling,
I don't know why.
Shaheen finally getting some wickets. I wouldn't necessarily say it was the best he's bowled, but it was good to see him getting 3 wickets in the first couple of overs.
Yeah, that was good. I mean, Shaheen bowled well. Even in the test matches, he bowled well.
Yeah. I think if you look at Haris, how we used Haris, I think that was a bit better where we kind of backloaded him. He wasn't much, he didn't have that disastrous game. But I thought there were a couple of things from a captaincy point of view which Shaheen would have done differently. So, like when he came back for the third over, I wasn't sure if that was necessary, right? Because you could have given it to Wasim Jr. or Zaman and saved one of his overs for later on. Because clearly we struggled to take a wicket after that. So, what did you make of that decision?
Yeah, I know. I think he should have given it to someone else because I think there were 5 overs left in the game and Shaheen had bowled his 4 out.
Yeah.
So I think that was a
maybe
maybe he was firing. He had picked up 3 wickets. Maybe he thought one more wicket and he'll close it. But
there was one more moment which I thought was a bit tricky, where with 7 overs to go, Nawaz had 1 over left, and given that they were playing Milne at 8, right, like a couple of wickets could have really been damaging. Run rate was almost hitting 10, and I thought, you know what, just hold back Nawaz's over, the India game style, and bring in Zaman or bring somebody else. But they gave Nawaz that over. They scored 15, and the required rate went from about almost 10 to 8, and that the game kind of completely changed at that time. So again, it was a tricky one, but I feel like they may be better off giving that over to Zaman or to even Haris Rauf or Mohammad Wasim Jr. for that matter.
Yeah.
But
I agree.
Yeah. While it was a big problem for Pakistan, we couldn't take a wicket after the third over, but I think how good were Mitchell and Phillips, right? So there were a couple of drop chances. It wasn't chanceless, but they paced their chase incredibly well, right? They kind of took it. There was no risk early up, but they didn't need to because the required rate wasn't that high. And then when it really push came to shove, they just managed to get that boundary to kind of stay within it.
Yeah, Mitchell is right now is probably one of your best all-format batsmen out there. He's scoring in Test cricket, he's scoring in ODIs, he's scoring in T20s, he's scoring everywhere. And he's had an amazing 2-3 year run with a bat. He's exceptional. So, and Phillips, when he fires, is extremely dangerous.
Yeah. What could we have done differently in the middle overs other than take catches to get another wicket? Not getting a wicket for 16 overs is obviously a big problem.
Look, it was tough. I think we lost it when he scored only 157. I mean, I know the power score in this ground is 160, but 66% of the games have teams have chased the 160. So you needed the 180, 190, and had you got that score, wickets would have come themselves.
Also, a lot of those games are, by the way, a lot of those games are day games, right? This is a night game, so it does get easier to bat a little bit. The ball comes on to the bat a little bit, so they're probably a factor.
In T20 cricket, bowlers don't really have the time to set batsmen up and stuff. Pakistan really needed to score more. Someone else had to fire besides Rizwan. Unfortunately, no one did.
And it seems like we're doing the same show again and again, right? But that's just how it is in the series. We have the next game, by the way, is at the same venue, so it's the conditions we'll be a bit familiar with. Let's see how it plays out. But before that, I'm going to pick up the 11s quickly. And Pakistan's 11 is on the screen. Would you make any change to this? Would you get any of the guys from the right back in?
Drop Farhan, probably try out Hasibullah Khan. No harm in trying him. The bowling is okay. If Abbas Afridi is fit, I'd like to see him play.
Yeah, I mean, you could probably keep Wasim or Junior or Zaman Khan out, or even Haris Rauf for that matter.
No, drop Haris Rauf can sit. Give Abbas Afridi a game. It's not like any bowler is doing better than the other right now. Rauf can rest. Even Shaheen can rest. Bring Jamal back into.
In fact, I feel like Abbas's bowling in the first over may have been one of the best performances by a quick in this tournament for us, right? Like he was that good in the first game.
Abbas has looked really good. So I don't know what the status of his injury is, but if he's fit, I think he should play. Maybe Amish Dawal should play as well. सारे bowlers ही खिला दो यार, batsman मतलब क्या फायदा? आप फरहान को निकालो, जमाल को लाओ, और रऊफ को निकालो, अब्बास को लाओ. It's fine. Batting बहुत है.
I mean, I would like to see Hasibullah Khan, right? He looks good in the PSL, like you said. We don't know if it translates to anything, but if you got him, you should try him out. And it would have made more sense, like we said, to try him than Sahibzada Farhan, who's a bit of an opener. But
I think we should play Babar Rizwan and then 9 bowlers. I think that's what we should play. That's the only. I mean, वो 9 एक over कराते रहो, कोई तो wicket लेगा यार.
Unfortunately, who knows? But looking at New Zealand's 11, so they have Josh Clarkson, who is an all-rounder who they haven't tried yet. Conway may be back, so would you see them making any changes, or do you either bringing Saudi or Clarkson in, or do you think they'll stick to the same 11?
No, I think we'll stick to this. I don't know. Conway will probably not be fit, right?
Yeah.
So he's out.
I mean, Santner came back 2 days after testing positive, but yeah, let's see if it's just a 1 day gap in the middle. So
yeah, I don't see them making any change unless they want to play another spinner for whatever
yeah.
reason.
Or maybe give Clarkson a game, right? But he's an all-rounder. They probably want to see what he's like at the international level.
Yeah.
But before we wrap up, any predictions for the last game?
नहीं भाई हम हारेंगे मतलब यही कह सकते
I mean,
हैं 5-0 now. It's okay. सब कुछ हार के वर्ल्ड कप जाओ और फिर जीतो तो बात ही
no expectations. Have great odds. But also keep in mind, this is the last series. We spoke about this. This is probably the last series we're playing before the squad is announced. Because the other series we have are 5 T20s against England and then a game against Ireland, etc. But I think are all in May. And typically there's a deadline 30 days before for the squad to be announced. So the squad will be announced based on this and then the PSL, of course, if that is a factor.
भाई कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. आपका स्क्वाड है बाबर आजम, मोहम्मद रिजवान, शाहीन अफरीदी, एंड देन आप कोई और 11 ले जाओ, कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. Anyone, could be anyone. Farid Shah, Umair Qazi, Ahmed Malik,
ladies and
Hussain,
gentlemen, is the most optimistic you've seen Umair Qazi on the show since you started doing the show. But if you have a view, by the way, on what 11 we should play, what went wrong, please leave a comment. And while you're at it, please like the video, subscribe to the channel. And Umair, thank you for being on the show again.
Thank you, Farid. Thank you.
And we'll be back after the 5th T20. In the meantime, stay tuned to the shiny side.
All right.